We got Jaden Newman's leaks are actually worse than you think. I don't know how it could get worse than that, but hey, man, it's Jaden Newman, man. Anything is possible, man. Let's get straight into it. Let's watch Jaden Newman get penetrated.
Basically, would never do it.
Nothing nudes or anything.
Right now,
no, I would never do it.
I don't know, Jaden. Based off of what I've seen this week on the internet, I don't know if you have those same morals. Imagine spending your children's formidable years going to the extreme, and I do mean extreme, depths and lengths for them. Moving them from school to school to get a better education, putting them in private instruction in order for them to be the child prodigies that you see them to be. Hell, even starting up your own school in order for your children to be the most successful children that they could possibly be. That was the dream and aspiration of internet's father, Jamie Newman. And, well, today, I don't think that it paid off. Now, look, I'm not saying that I condone leak culture at all. I actually think that it's a deplorable act. But are these even considered leaks since Julian Newman, the brother of Jaden Newman, is out there in the open saying this about his sister?
To look at the brighter side of things, on a positive note, she gonna be bigger than Kim K, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all care, like, bro, y'all just gassing her up.
The Newman family...
what is the possibility? Like, what's the chance that Julian Newman seen his sister's leaks? You got to think about it. When you looking at stuff like this, bro, you have to think about stuff like this. It's an uncomfortable topic, but what is the chance that he actually... Goodness gracious, bro. This dude look like the chef off of Ratatouille. I can't stand this dude, bro. Hey, man. LaMelo Ball and Lonzo Ball and LeVar Ball. I mean, LeVar Ball better, bro. They
Father
dad is better.
Jamie Newman spent years trying to turn Julian and Jaden into basketball prodigies. So how did they go from being basketball prodigies to a family that only seems to get the most attention when something is going wrong? If you're new to this and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's going to go a long, long way for the channel. As you can tell, I'm in a new setup, and it's thanks to all 183,000 of you guys. I would not be here without you. Now, back into the video.
Redo the vid? Wait, what vid? Oh my god.
One of the internet's favorite families is back to the spotlight, and this time it's not for the dribble, tween, hezzy antics of Julian Newman, the star prodigy from the yesteryear mixtape basketball era. This time it's Jaden Newman. As a recent part of a bunch of leaks that came onto the internet, Jaden Newman's personal schmex tape got leaked to the internet. The reason why I'm putting so many quotes and emphasis around whether it was or was not leaked will be revealed later on in the video, but that is the gist as to how we got here today. And for research purposes, I promise you, research purposes strictly, I did come across these videos, and they were explicit as hell. Now, if these were truly leaked out and put to the internet without her permission, then, I don't think that this is something that should have happened. But ultimately, we are here, and it is something that not even Julian Newman, Jaden Newman's brother, can avoid.
Y'all keep asking me some weird stuff. No one cares. I don't care. Like, get out of here with that, bro. Y'all only care because it's Jaden Newman. Second of all, what that gotta do with me?
The pipeline from child internet star to being
It's your sister, bro.
some sort of crash out or some sort of burnout is one that is escaping nobody at this point. For what it's worth, we haven't heard the Newman name for months now, but every single time that we hear it is for some sort of bad antics or, negative PR from what most people can see. And in a situation like this where somebody's intimate and personal details get leaked out to the internet, the best course of action probably, in my opinion, is to avoid it as a whole. But it seems as though the father's teachings have trickled down into the children, and Julian Newman is using this as some sort of complete promo tour.
She gonna be bigger than Kim K, man.
When I tell you how
Playing on iPhone, now you can play a lot with Google Play Games on PC.
I want to see
disgusted I was to find out that this clip was from a video that Julian Newman had posted, not just because he was promoting his sister's OF or leaks that she had out to the public, which means that I think that he had to have seen them in some way, shape, form, or fashion, but also because he used this AI thumbnail. That's a weird choice to be making right now. The sad part about all of this is that this is not the fame and notoriety that the Newman...
I ain't gonna lie, bro. You could tell when somebody's using an AI thumbnail, bro. This doesn't even look like him, bro. This looks like an evil J Cinco. This looks nothing like Julian Newman. It looks nothing like him, bro.
Family sought out for when they graced the internet years and years ago. We gotta remember that Julian Newman and Jaden Newman were quote-unquote child prodigies. Jaden Newman was playing varsity basketball for her high school at just the age of 9 years old. She was even so good at basketball that she got the opportunity to do a three-point contest with somebody that she looked up to and admired in Stephen Curry.
3-year-old Jaden Newman. Wait a minute, how old are you really? 10.
10 years old. What is this?
Before we do this, can you sign this for my school?
Please excuse Jaden Newman from class today. She's being Stephen Curry at a three-point contest. And now fast forward to 2026, you have Jaden Newman being one of the worst...
You met Stephen Curry? And you then decide to pivot to being an OF star? I'm not gonna judge, bro.
Fallen off childhood prodigies in the social media era, and a lot of people are scratching their heads trying to figure out how they could have gotten here. How do you go from being compared to the next greatest women's basketball player like Skylar Diggins, Candace Parker, Maya Moore, to now being compared by your own blood brother to Kim Kardashian for having your schmex tape leak? I think the answer is quite clear when you understand who their father is.
What's wrong with pushing your kids to be great? There's nothing wrong with that. Someone else is not going to tell us what our kids can't do because we know what they can do. People kill me when they just try to get on LeVar, get on myself, get on Richard Williams, get anybody where we're just pushing your kids to be great.
If you've never seen that bald-headed man before with the big arched eyebrows, you would have thought that that was their manager or their promoter or their coach, but that is the Newman family's patriarch, Jamie Newman. Now, I think it's quite clear to understand quickly based
The
off...
man of the house, man. This the man of the house. Like, you cannot tell me that when you look at this man, you don't see the chef from off of Ratatouille. They look exactly the same.
For that clip, how delusional Jamie Newman's thought process and ideology is when he's comparing himself to LeVar Ball and Richard Williams. LeVar Ball being the father.
You can't compare yourself to LeVar Ball. 3 of his kids, well, except for LiAngelo, but 2 of his kids made it to the league. LiAngelo could have made it to the league, bro. He went 3 for 3, bro. You can't compare yourself to him, bro. No blades.
3 children that made
I
it
ain't
to...
gonna lie, Big Baller Brand failed. They was the only ones wearing that, bro. If I ever catch somebody wearing a Big Baller Brand shirt, your neck needs to be snapped. You need to be slammed on the pavement on your head, bro.
NBA stage, kids that are also, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" plus. And then Richard Williams, who is the father of Venus and Serena Williams, 2 children that grew up to be tennis prodigies and some of, if not the greatest tennis players to ever grace the earth. Putting yourself in that lane is a little bit stretchy, but we get the overall point. That doesn't mean that the delusion doesn't still stand. Now, I want to be fair to Jamie Newman in his efforts to get his kids out there to another level. He put a quote in Bleacher Report saying, "No one understands what they're going through better than they do. They're on the same path. They don't want to be normal kids. They want to be extraordinary." And I think that's very respectable. Wanting your kids to be great and pushing them to that greatness isn't some sort of bad thing. I think that people loosely use terms like helicopter parent or tiger parent, and I don't want anybody wanting their children to be great to be labeled that just because. Now, with that being said, that is not Jamie Newman. Jamie Newman is a delusional parent who put his children in the limelight with unrealistic expectations, unrealistic hopes of success in certain lanes. I mean, he himself is about 5'6", 5'5", and he had these expectations that his kids would be better than, if not just as good as, some of the best basketball talent in the world. I mean, when we watched the footage, the skills didn't match. But what really made Jamie Newman disgusting is that he compromised his children's integrity for the sake of success. People had many concerns about Jamie Newman's exposure to his kids to social media in the real world. In that same Bleacher Report article, Jamie Newman...
When Julian Newman got to high school, when Jaden Newman or Julian Newman got to high school, bro, and I seen his 11th grade tape or whatever that was, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I knew his basketball career was coming to a close, bro. I knew it was over, bro. It was so desperately over. This was the worst mixtape I think I've ever watched, bro. It was just low lights, bro. And it didn't make it any better when he 1v1 LaMelo Ball. And LaMelo Ball, he's like 6'8", bro.
Reported that he had the passwords to both...
Well, no, he didn't 1v1 him. It was like a scrimmage game. But either way, it was still bad. Like, every time he touched the ball, there was a low light. Every time he grabbed the ball, it was a low light pending. I swear.
Instagram's accounts, and knew that 15-year-old Jaden was receiving sexual messages and pictures from strangers. He says, and I quote, "She shows me her messages. I see 5 from the past 24 hours that are either graphic, sexual proportions, or requests for the type of photos and videos that got leaked. Rude photographs." Jamie Newman says it's a trade-off. "I like having a lot of followers, but the downside is guys who say weird or gross stuff, I mostly try to ignore." Now, I'm not going to say Jamie Newman exactly instilled that type of thought process and philosophy into Jaden, but if you're seeing these things come across your daughter's phone, and I'm hearing her say that type of phrasing, that it's a trade-off for the social media success that she's getting,
you just shut that
you can
down.
put the pieces together. Was that enough for Jamie Newman to stop putting his children out there on social media? No. Remind you, he was supposed to be training his 2 young prodigies to be elite basketball players, but at the end of the day, all it did was expose them to a life that they probably weren't ready for. Neither of them lived up to the success that their father had laid out for them, and now in 2026, Jamie Newman is being clowned for his endeavors.
This dude, Julian Newman, be getting cooked in the creator basketball games, bro. He wasn't league bound, bro. I'm not trying to put him down or anything, but I'm just telling the truth. He was never league bound, bro. Seriously.
Whether it be parenting or coaching.
They started off on a 7 to the overhead.
Is Kylie texting you back?
I don't want to talk about it.
Hey, the second I start getting paid, bro, I'm
Don't
getting
wanna talk
YouTube
about
Premium. I'm tired of this. What is Talkspace?
This is the head coach, Jamie Newman.
He a legend, bro.
Ball is life.
He a legend, bro. He stay in the
I
mix.
hate that fucking sweater. His ass is back at work today, boo.
Like I said earlier, there's no problem with a parent wanting their child to be as successful as possible, but ultimately that means being realistic with what they can and can't do. And I don't think that that's what Jamie Newman did. But what I do think that he did was understand the value in monetization in the celebrity that he could ultimately make his children into being.
What was it that made you realize, yo, my kids, we could monetize their abilities right now? Like the first couple of years, I think, when they were the prodigies, they were prodigies. And when they did that, I was like, hey, we got something here.
I don't know, gang.
This
Does
dude,
that
like, he's weird. Every time I hear him talk, it's just like something weird about the way he says stuff, bro. It's
sound
weird.
kind of strange and weird to anybody else but me? Raise your hand in the comment section if that sounds weird to you. Jamie Newman created 2 celebrities, but the problem is that the only part of his plan that seemed to work was not the basketball, but it was the creation of them being famous. And so while Jaden Newman is dealing with the ugly sides of being famous right now, Julian Newman has been dealing with the ugly sides of being famous for years at this point.
bro,
Julian Newman was the face of the internet experiment that became the Newman family. For what it's worth, he was one of the forefront fathers of the internet mixtape basketball era, getting known for being somebody who had all these skills at an early age.
I hope he shows that one clip where he's actually just spamming a crossover, bro.
Ultimately,
I
the
really hope he
professional
shows that
career
clip.
that his father had laid out for him never fully worked. He didn't start playing any sort of collegiate basketball until 2024, and to be quite honest with you, I think that school was there to just sell tickets. Through the first 3 games, Julian Newman averaged 3 points per game, 16.7% from the field, and just 0% from 3. The conversation surrounding Julian Newman went from how good will he be to what happened to Julian Newman very, very fast.
I give you one.
Height, bro. That's what happened, bro.
You give me one? Come on. I'll take it.
Oh,
my God. Let's go take him away. We gotta just put him over. Something away. We gotta take something away. No way. Yeah, you know, that's good defense. No way. To get in the bag.
Height is what happened, bro. He's crouched over, and he's still taller. He's slouched over, and he's still taller than Jaden Newman. I mean, Julian Newman.
Is not gonna let you put this down. The defense, get strong, get strong. Go balance. Ah!
Well, maybe the professional career wouldn't work. NBA, overseas, not in the cards for Julian Newman, but creator basketball steps on the scene. And through the guidance of his team, including his father, Julian Newman would, let's just say, make an attempt to get into the professional creator scene, but ultimately through years of tolerating or promoting or hyping the bad behaviors, not just the on-court ability, but also...
Bro just had anger issues, bro. He just had anger issues, bro. Like, I remember, bro, watching him, in a scrimmage. It was like a friendly basketball game. Mind you, there's no money on the line at all. There's no money on the line. Dude gets mad and starts fighting somebody. I kid you not, this dude looks like a little chihuahua. Little chihuahua just squaring up with somebody. What are you doing? It's basketball.
The hothead temperament of it all. Julian Newman would flame out quick, fast, in a hurry in his professional content creator career.
See what I'm saying?
Now, you've probably seen this person before, even if you didn't know that it was exactly Julian Newman. One, because you may have not noticed this 5'3" content creator basketball guy and didn't really realize what the relevancy was. And two, because he probably looks burnt out. But long story less long, he will become the laughing stock of the content creator sphere. It gets so bad that streamers start inviting him onto their platforms just to provoke him, poke the bear of it all, because they know that he will rage out. They know that he will give them some sort of clip. They know that he will give them some sort of moment.
Bro, but that's really cool.
Even though the basketball never panned out,
What are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? It's actually a chihuahua. I've yet to see someone that's Julian Newman's height. I've yet to see a grown man that's Julian Newman's height. Everybody I've seen Julian Newman come in contact with, he has to look up at them. Why are you trying to fight them? Why are you trying to fight them?
Never disappeared. Why? Because Julian Newman will become a spectacle in more than just the basketball lane. He took his talents to the ring as well. I don't even want to go into
There's
too
no
deep
way, bro.
detail about
You're a hooper, bro. I understand you're trying to shift more into content, bro, but stick to the basketball, bro. If you can't do that, just cut it out.
what happened in his short-lived influencer boxing career. And it's not so much about the fight that, really concerned me. It's the fact that he was embarrassed every step of the way. Everyone looked at him as somebody who can give them a clip, somebody who can give them a moment. And for what it's worth, he fed into it every single time. He went from being this basketball prodigy to a reality show character to this creator hooper to influencer boxer. But the whole time, I think all of those were just ways to kind of hide the fact that he was the internet's punching bag.
Let's be real right quick, bro. When Julian Newman's mixtape that came out, yeah, bro, it was crazy. It was mad viral. It was popular. Mad popular. When it came out, though, if you know basketball, as let's say a year went by, or even just watching that video in general, you knew that Julian Newman was not going to go that far. He was significantly shorter than everybody on the court, even the other team's point guards. He was significantly shorter than them. If he didn't have a growth spurt, everybody knew. If you know basketball, everybody knew he was not going to succeed in the basketball field, bro.
Or a content creator's court jester. And the only reason why I see him continuously feeding into this narrative, just like I see his sister
It's just for money, bro.
continuously feeding into this narrative, is because they have a father who was more worried about the monetization as opposed to setting realistic expectations.
Oh, the prodigies. And when they did that, I was like, hey, we got something here.
The father that was more worried
He
about the
talks so
dollars and
weird,
cents as
bro.
opposed to checking on his kids' mental stability. The father who was willing to put his children in compromising and even embarrassing situations because there was a check always attached to it for him. It was another opportunity for him to keep the flame going on the 15 seconds of it all. That's how you end up with two children who are getting embarrassed on social media in their own respective ways.
Constantly.
One, because they are this failed creator
I've never seen a Julian Newman or Jaden Newman clip where they're not getting embarrassed.
Cooper that is labeled as a crash out, and now anytime somebody wants to associate with him is because they think that they can get a fight or some sort of rage baity clip. And that same person who is promoting the other child, who is this OF star who is
The lunch lady. Every time I see, bro, what do people see in Jaden Newman? I remember when people were simping over Jaden Newman. To me, she's built like a lunch lady, bro. Every time I see Jaden Newman, I think, oh yeah, that's a lunch lady build. That's literally a lunch lady build. Why are people so attracted to her, bro? Seriously.
this contradiction gimmick, but ultimately feeding into the narrative and having their brother
I
promote.
don't see it, man.
She gonna be bigger than Kim K, man.
Now, I think on surface,
Who says that about their sister, though? Actually. Who says your sister just got leaked? Be there for her, bro. Be there by her side emotionally, bro. Be her brother. Don't compare her to Kim Kardashian. Don't get me wrong, Kim Kardashian is successful, but Kim Kardashian got leaked. And, bro, that's not good. That's not a good thing. That's not something that we should all aspire to have one day. Leak the videos out there. Let's take me, for example. If my meat got leaked, I don't know how I would feel personally, but I probably wouldn't be all happy and excited. That's probably not the first thing I'm going to be feeling. Oh, yes, I got leaked. That's not how I'm going to act, bro.
that reaction sounds like the most ridiculous thing in the world. Your sister's nudes just got leaked to the internet, and your first response is that she could be the internet's Kim K. Okay. But if you look at the family tree in history, then I think it's totally understood. This is the Newman experience. Jamie taught his kids early on that attention creates these opportunities. Quote, the mixtapes set him up for success. That was about Julian Newman going and playing basketball, which I think is a miss because I would think that the training would set him up for success. Not
Just a
necessarily the
walking
mixtape,
L,
but
bro.
I don't know.
Just a
Jaden
walking
Newman learned
L.
that even if you're getting attention, it could be very costly, but the trade-off is ultimately worth it. I mean, she's the one who said it after revealing that at just the age of 15 years old, people were sending her graphic images. Julian spent
Which
his
is
years
terrible.
experiencing that trade-off. Not necessarily the same one where anybody is sending him any graphic images, but ultimately, his public attempts at being successful for basketball made
Just
him
failed.
the internet's court jester. And now Jaden Newman is going through that same thing where she is getting leaked, which again, I don't know if I would consider it to be a leak, especially because these are the same videos and photos that are on her OnlyFans that she is selling. I do think that this is a play no different than the Kim Kardashian stuff. We do still want to empathize if there is a leak, but ultimately, based off of what I know about this family, they are trying to monetize off of every single situation. Remember, they're positioning this as if these are private videos, but these are things that you can buy for $9.99. But now we sit in a situation where Jaden Newman is going through this public humiliation, and her brother is being that apple not falling far from the tree and taking the words of her father and saying, hey, this could be the biggest thing for you. A situation in which your private, intimate details are being displayed to the public could be the biggest thing that happens to you. Yeah, that's fucking disgusting, gang.
Goodness gracious. There was no outro at all. Hey, man, W video, man, I feel bad for Jaden Newman. I wonder what approach he's going to take to the league, man.